McLaren is a mess, and honestly, sometimes they just suck. Now, before a papaya snipes me from a building 3,000 meters away, I'm not talking about the drivers, I'm talking about the team. Because even with all the sunshine and rainbows in the garage, McLaren's just as fucked up as everybody else, and it's always been that way. Believe it or not, I was a McLaren fan the second time this man was in their team. I'm still proud I haven't killed myself.
I just don't want you to be offended. Ending it. And
in modern F1, McLaren has suffered from the same old problems. Pit stops, team orders, strategy, double DNFs, management issues. But the reason why they haven't been getting clowned for these mistakes is because Ferrari has already done them twice as much. But the Italians won't be able to save McLaren this time because today I'm gonna be eating a lot of papayas. One of the biggest problems McLaren's been facing is their midfield habits, and it all has to do with the phrase, you can bring a team out of the midfield, but you can't bring the midfield out of the team. That's McLaren. They could have an F-22 Raptor nuke everyone else on track and still make the same mistakes.
I can't, it's broken! It's broken! Fuck!
Like strategy. In Brazil 2018, they told Alonso to box to overtake while he was 16th.
Okay, Fernando, it's box to overtake, box to overtake. How is the balance?
I don't know.
And then they proceeded to do an unsafe release.
Stop, stop, stop. And the other Williams Stroll is just leaving the pit lane now.
No more radio for the rest of the race.
Slow pit stops are another one. Silverstone 2021.
Poor Lando Norris is a problem, and he's there a little bit longer than he would have wanted.
Hungary 2019.
Hard tyres going on, but at the rear, on the rear left, going on in a hurry.
Car inspection is also one. In Spain 2012, Lewis couldn't finish qualifying, and McLaren couldn't get him through because they had fuel issues. But of course, these all happened years ago, which means McLaren should be consistent by now, right? The only thing consistent about McLaren is their inconsistency. In 2024, the MCL38 was a bullet train, and yet they still messed up. In Silverstone, they were leading the race, it started raining, McLaren pitted Lando, everything was fine. But then they let Oscar go for another lap when the track was already wetter than Pierre Gasly's greasy forehead. Oscar was moving like old people fucking. With the tires he was on, I could get on a rowboat and pass him in about 2 laps. And you think McLaren was done? Hell no! No one is free from their diaper-wearing pit wall. When it was time to go back to slicks, they put Lando on softs when they should have gone for hards, so he got overtaken by Max. And plus, we're not done yet. When Lando went on softs, he pitted late and this happened.
With tyres fired up and a chance to win, Lando's so long in his box as well.
It's not a great stop, and Hamilton's just going out of the club corner. There's Hamilton! Hamilton comes out in front of Lando Norris!
Also, Hungary 2024, McLaren miscalculated strategy, forcing Lando to give the win back to Oscar. This is proof that McLaren struggles to adapt to being a top team. They're so used to being in the midfield where they can just react to other teams that the moment they have to make the first call, they just react like this. Actual Neanderthal behavior. And then we have 2025. McLaren now has a rocket ship, but this time, pit stops come back to haunt them. Lando had slow stops in Silverstone.
It's not quick there for Lando Norris.
Zandvoort.
Double stack for McLaren. Oh no!
Baku.
More importantly, it's not a good stop either, it's a horrible stop.
Monza.
What's going on with Lando Norris? A 5.9 second stop when it counts.
And Oscar had one in Singapore.
Not quick. Not quick.
How is this the same team that broke the pit stop record multiple times? McLaren's pit crew was so inconsistent in 2025 that even Ferrari has actually done better. This is like seeing the worst team of today versus the worst team in all history. And don't even get me started on all the times Lando and Oscar fumbled at some point in the season. If I put all their bottles into a recycling station, I'd be a millionaire. So McLaren is still the midfield team we've known for over 10 years. They just have a fast car sometimes. But I might even say that they've gotten lazy because of it. Back in the Honda era, at least they were trying to play it smart.
Fernando, do you think we should do a new set of inters or wets? New inters or wets?
I think we should go to the garage.
But now they play it safe, unwilling to take risks, NPCs, Neanderthals. Like in Qatar 2025, McLaren showed how bad they really are when they actually have to make the first call like a top team should. Instead of pitting like the rest when there was a safety car, they made Oscar and Lando stay out to preserve flexibility. Why? Is it because Zak keeps spreading his cheeks for Lando?
Thank you. Thank you.
So Max ended up winning, and McLaren officially becomes a team I'd call Midfield Champions. Giving a fast car to them is like giving Haas the RB19. And to make things worse, McLaren also loves getting into unnecessary drama. For an unproblematic team, they sure as hell pissed off a lot of people. Lando throughout 2024 and a bit of 2025.
But it's really, it's the way it is with Max. You know, it's crash or don't pass.
The McLaren admin posting a video that said simply lovely and then deleting it when they got railed by Verstappen fans. Oscar reposting a photo claiming that McLaren is biased to Lando, then deleting it. And Ron Dennis's toxic way of running the team to perfection when he was really just running it to the ground. But let's finally discuss the literal elephant in the room, Zak Brown, the main source of McLaren's unnecessary drama and half the profits of your local Waffle House. Zak is a very involved CEO. He's not the team principal, but he's in the pit wall, press conferences. Even when McLaren already has Andrea Stella, Zak is there. And I love seeing passionate CEOs helping. But Zak says too much shit. In this interview, he claims that he doesn't want to be a distraction.
So I'm gonna shut up. That's the best thing I can do, is not be a distraction.
Yet half of the controversial McLaren comments were from him. Max can only win in the fastest car. Max is overly aggressive and Lewis is an 8-time world champion. Nico Hülkenberg drives like an amateur, which he apologized for immediately. And in the same interview, he says that he doesn't want to start drama for Netflix.
Get on the radio because, you know, Netflix is listening and I want to make it look like I'm calling the pit stop stretch. So last thing I want to do is be something that I'm not.
And yet he does this.
That was simply lovely.
Dominating.
All right, one more.
This is like Alonso and Stroll.
Are you having fun with this?
Now in these two clips, I personally find them funny and true, but the rest... Zak, can you just shut the fuck up? Zak complains about everything, but hates it when people complain about his team. In 2024, Red Bull accused McLaren of potential cheating, and Zak said, that's just going too far. This is the same man who was accusing Red Bull 24/7 during their domination, by the way. And Zak also says, let's not turn F1 into a political sport, while using McLaren to host another orange entity. So Zak, sometimes you need to shut your motherfucking ass down. And speaking about Waffle Brown, he's another issue, not just for being annoying. Because did you know that Christian Horner isn't the only team principal with WhatsApp scandals? That's right, Zak is not the innocent teddy bear you all think he is. He is a CEO. Their kind are wolves in sheep's clothing. Basically, back in October 2025, McLaren got into legal troubles with IndyCar driver Alex Palou, with Alex claiming that Zak Brown lied to him, getting him to race for McLaren's IndyCar team with false promises of a potential McLaren F1 seat, aka a chair made out of shit. And as a result, Alex's legal team whipped out documents showing WhatsApp messages of Zak Brown telling McLaren staff to use disappearing messages hiding any evidence that could screw them over in court. Zak says, keep everything WhatsApp and then delete. I'll respond to any changes here. I don't know what's more embarrassing, Zak hiding evidence or the amount of typos in the message. Even Horner in his messages that have likely been typed out with one hand has far less errors. And McLaren also has a secret document about Alex Palou, and in the message above Zak's, it says that the password is Palou. Whose war veteran grandpa did McLaren accidentally hire in their IT department? But it's official, Zak Brown is Christian Horner's less horny twin. unless it's for Lando. They both go on private jets with bathrobes on, share dinner, have WhatsApp scandals, and have fallen in love with their co-workers. Honestly, I feel like Zak loves Horner like Trump loves Bill Clinton. They both hate each other in public, but secretly suck each other off under tables. Believe it or not, there are 4 people in these photos. But another bad habit McLaren has is team scandals. Back in 2007, they were part of Spygate. They had access to Ferrari's development files that disqualified them from the constructors. But at least we can say Lewis technically won in a Ferrari before Charles. In 2009, they had Liesgate, where McLaren told Lewis to lie to the FIA about a position swap which got them disqualified from a race. And in 2023, they had Wafflegate, where Zak Brown burst into a local Waffle House, holding staff hostage until he got his strawberry waffle sundae. I know half of you almost thought that was true. And in Vegas 2025, McLaren ran their cars so low that both their drivers got their ass cheeks shredded. I'm joking, they ended up disqualified for plankwear during a championship fight. Once a midfield team, always a midfield team. Neanderthal behavior. And another issue is papaya rules. McLaren has always used team orders during rivalries, and for the most part it works, but when it comes to teammate fights, papaya rules just make boring races. Like in 2025, we were robbed of a heated fight in Monza.
Please let Lando pass, then you're free to race.
Austria.
Oscar, feedback from the pit wall. The manoeuvre in turn 4 with the front lockup was too marginal. We can't do that again.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But even when McLaren were to give valid team orders, sometimes they don't even word it right.
Okay, Lando, Oscar has just pitted. He will likely come out just behind you. We'd like to re-establish the order at your convenience.
The phrase "at your convenience" is looser than Mia Khalifa's hole that even Nico Rosberg complained about it.
At your convenience, Lando. That like for a driver leaves the door very wide open, you know, to use all the kinds of gray areas.
Nico, you talk from experience. I take your recommendation. We will make good use of it.
And in the topic of team orders and team radio, let me go back to Waffle Brown. After Lando won his first championship, the Waffle said this.
Lando, this is Zak from McLaren. Is this the World Champion Hotline?
Get the fuck out of here! That shit garbage!
But apart from the Monaco-based YouTubers' complaints, another unique problem that only a team like McLaren has is that they're people pleasers that are not very good at people-pleasing. We already know how they treated Alex Palou. They made promises to make him happy just to disappoint him later. Lando and Zak both apologized for their controversial statements because they don't want to lose fans. And of course, McLaren's no preferential treatment rule that's supposed to make both Oscar and Lando happy, but it just ended up pissing off everyone. I despise how McLaren's always trying to play the good guy while doing the complete opposite. They're two-faced. At least with Red Bull, you know they're dickheads, but they're proud of it. While McLaren tries so hard to please everyone that they please no one. You can't say that you treat drivers equally if it's riddled with inconsistency. For example, Zak says this in an interview.
We know we're not perfect. We gave him equal opportunities.
But then seconds later, he's back to saying that we're in the Lando Norris era. But then Lando gets screwed by multiple slow stops in a season. So then Oscar gets told to give back positions. We also have this clip.
We're close to getting 2 trophies. Our time will come.
Let him touch it. Let him touch it.
There we go. That's enough.
The pit wall asking Lando to decide Oscar's strategy.
Are you willing to let let Oscar pit the lap before you?
It's like they can't hear the fucking guy.
I'm talking about shut the fuck up. I'm trying to say something here.
Oscar getting told to calm down while racing, while Lando didn't get any warnings before he rammed Piastri's butthole in Canada, and in Brazil, Oscar received a penalty for ramming into Kimi, who then took out Charles. But the worst part is when McLaren didn't even defend Oscar. It was so bad that Charles himself defended Piastri more than his own team.
The wankers is McLaren. Why you don't go there and say something to the stewards? I mean, even Charles Leclerc said, it wasn't Oscar's fault.
Kimi knew that Oscar was on the inside, I think, and
he kind of did the corner like Oscar was never there.
It's crazy that they prioritized both drivers and still found a way to piss everyone off. And another stupid moment was when McLaren screwed up in Qatar 2025 that made Oscar Piastri beyond pissed. Waffle Brown did this. Holy performative male epidemic. This is like seeing someone get hugged 14 years later by the same uncle who molested them when they were 9. Zak does not care. Plus, after his cringe radio message to Lando winning the championship, this is what Oscar had to hear.
Good job, Oscar. Obviously, that means Lando is world champion. I'm sure you got some mixed emotions.
Oscar, what a season. What a season. You're a star. 7 wins. We love you.
Imagine having a therapy session on losing the championship with your engineer, and some waffle barges into the room thanking you for giving back positions, thinking that's gonna make you feel better. Zak is so tone deaf. At this point, this is how I imagine McLaren as a family household.
I made the football team. Oh. What? You did it?
I finally have a real son.
Actual people pleasers that are shit at people pleasing. And as a result of all this bullshit, we're in a TV series called Everybody Hates McLaren. Even Lando fans are pissed. If McLaren had a little more consistency in 2025, Lando would have been champion with zero stress.
We are in this fight still because of other people's failures.
And Oscar fans are pissed about seasons being riddled with inconsistency and team orders. And everybody else hates how boring McLaren made a teammate rivalry. But in conclusion, McLaren kinda sucks sometimes, and I won't be surprised if their pit wall are made out of early humans, prime Neanderthals. And honestly, it kinda makes sense, because Zak Brown would literally make a perfect prehistoric human. I mean, just look at that. Truly the greatest actor of our generation. I loved his roles from Drive to Survive, Everybody Hates McLaren, and The Flintstones.